Morning. I'm here with Jane York, the coordinator of military and veteran student services at Stony Brook University. How are you this morning?
Doing very well. How are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome back to the U.S. Veterans Magazine. We're honored to feature you again. I know that Stony Brook is being named as a top veteran-friendly school for 2025, and you were last year as well. So congratulations, and we'd love to know more about the school and your programs that are going on. So we'll go ahead and get started. So first of all, let's start with your background. As both an alumni and a veteran program coordinator at Stony Brook, what inspired you to take on this role, and how has your experience as a student shaped your approach?
Sure. So I am a Navy veteran. I joined the Navy in 2012 and I did 5 years of active duty all the way out in Washington State. I'm a Long Island native, so I couldn't have gotten further away. And then my enlistment ended and I decided that instead of re-upping for more military time, I wanted to return to New York and return to my roots. I applied to Stony Brook University's School of Social Welfare, their MSW program, and I started that program in 2017 as a graduate student and a student veteran. So I've lived this experience myself, and I was so fortunate in my first year of that program. I interned with the Office of Veteran Students at the time, and I had an amazing experience and made a lot of connections, and never forgot about my time here, and all the connections I had made and the community that I had been a part of and that I had helped to build. And so when the opportunity came up years later to kind of circle back around and return as a professional staff member, it was a no-brainer for me. I applied without hesitation, and I am just thrilled to be back. My life really does feel at this point like it's taken a full circle from, serving active duty, getting out, coming back here to New York, going to school at Stony, and then going back to the Navy for a brief time, leaving and returning to Stony Brook as a full-time staff member.
Outstanding. Thank you for your service, and what a journey, because you
Thank
can
you.
speak both as an alumni, as a coordinator. I mean, I bet you really connect with students. I mean, in so many ways where you can say, I've really been there and done that. So that's great. You created an impactful peer-to-peer initiative called the Vets for Vets. And I wanted you to tell me and tell us how the idea came about and what makes this program so unique.
So this idea came about when I was actually a student veteran myself. In my first year of my social work program, interning in the office, I was brainstorming with my field instructor about possible programming we could do, and I felt very connected to the university. I loved my faculty members. I felt very connected to the Office of Veteran Services staff, but I thought something that I think we might be missing is that peer-to-peer support and connection from the jump, like from your first day of classes, to feel connected with a peer, someone who's been where you are. And so we brainstormed the program then, got it off the ground, kind of piloted it while I was a graduate student, and it took off. So by the spring of 2018, we had sponsors. We had incoming students being sponsored and being paired up with their peer for the semester. The program was a huge success, and it continues on to this day. So it's a really it's homegrown in every sense of the word.
Outstanding. I think veterans really appreciate it. So I think what you're doing is phenomenal. When you first stepped into this role, you were asked to develop a mentorship program. And you made an important distinction because you had mentioned sponsors, and there's a distinction between mentors and sponsors. Can you share why the term sponsor is so important in your work with veterans?
So originally, we had been calling it a Vets for Vets mentor program, and something about it wasn't sitting right with me. I said,
Yeah.
not that sponsors don't do their fair share of mentoring in the Vets for Vets
Sure.
program, but I think that there may be this connotation, especially with our military connected students, with needing to be mentored and needing extra help and needing, hand holding, which is not at all what the program is or what they require. But we just wanted to bypass that altogether. So thought, what can we call it instead of a mentorship program? And then I realized in the military, there are sponsors. So every time a military member moves to a new base, takes on a new role, they are met there by a sponsor. And this is usually someone of the same rank or perhaps a rank above, who picks them up from the airport, takes them to their house, shows them around the base. They have their cell number. So this is like your personal connection, your personal liaison in your first few weeks at a new military base, which is a very overwhelming experience.
Sure.
So this
Absolutely.
is a positive word for military members for the most part. And I
Right.
felt like to call it a sponsorship program would plant in their brain already that this is something positive, this is something worth participating in, and that this is someone they can trust. This is someone in their corner. So before the students even start classes, they receive an email from our office saying, you've been paired with a Vets for Vets sponsor. We give their photo, a short bio, a welcoming message, and then the sponsors take it from there. And they connect with the students throughout their entire first year as a peer sponsor who absolutely does mentoring, but also brings that military connected student into the fold of our community and assists them in any way they need as a peer.
Oh, it sounds like a great program. How does the Vet for Vets program work in practice? How are incoming students paired, and what kind of outcomes have you seen from the sponsor-based approach?
We will receive a list from our admissions office of all newly matriculated military connected students. So any students who have self-identified as either a student veteran or a veteran dependent will receive that list from admissions. So we can see a little bit of information about them before they even start with us. We can see if they're the veteran themselves, perhaps this is a child or a spouse of a veteran.
Sure.
If they're using VA benefits with our office, it makes it even easier because we could potentially get a DD-214 from them before they start. So now we have a lot of information. We know that you're a student veteran, what branch you served in. We can see the job you had, where you were serving. So we've got a little bit of information on the students, and that really helps us in pairing them with their Vets for Vets peer sponsor. So we can get so detailed to where we can say, oh my goodness, we have an incoming Navy veteran, we have a Navy sponsor, and look at this, they were stationed in the same place. It's happened.
Oh, wow.
So it can
Yeah.
get that detailed. But we can also pair students based on majors. So, okay, this is a health science major incoming. Let's pair them with our health science
Right.
peer sponsor. And, they already have that commonality, that connection. They're going through the same program. And the Vets for Vets peer sponsor, they are all vetted. They are all students who are doing well academically. They're in the fold of our community. They're active. So they can speak to this incoming student saying, again, I've literally been where you are. And if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm here to show you the way. So we put a lot of thought into our pairings, and it's worked out very well for us. The ultimate goal, of course, is that these relationships maintain beyond the first year. We love to see that. Friendships forming. We want them to feel connected to us always. A real testament to the program's success is when a student who has been sponsored by a Vets for Vets sponsor turns around at the end of that year and says, Jane, I want to be a Vets for Vets sponsor. I think I'm ready to take on this role. That to me is just, it doesn't get any better. Now you literally have the student becoming the teacher in a whole new way, ready to sponsor an incoming wave of military connected students. That's exactly right. And I feel like this program is so accessible. I think that this can be replicated across, multiple types of universities, whether you're a
Sure.
large university, Stony Brook
Mhm.
is quite large, or you're a smaller college. I think the
Sure.
premise of this can be easily translated to multiple types of facilities. And it really does pay off in the long run. I mean, you are creating a very safe space for veterans to kind of land.
Sure.
Even after I graduated from Stony Brook in 2019, and I went off to recruit for the Navy for a few years, but I never forgot about my experience here
Sure.
because I felt so connected to it. And I remember thinking, then and now, I am so lucky to have landed in such a supportive environment. That
Bet.
time from getting out of the military, transitioning to civilian life is overwhelming enough. But then to go from a civilian to a student after not having been in school for years and years is a big undertaking. So we
Yeah.
want to do everything we can to make it less daunting.
Yes, exactly. Well, I want to congratulate you again for being a top veteran friendly school. It is obvious why. And if there is there anything else that you'd like our readers to know about you, the program, or the school?
If anyone who's seen this interview has questions about specifics about how we implemented the program or just wants to chat about it, they can absolutely reach out to our office and we would be happy to talk about the program. Perhaps even one
Excellent.
of our amazing Vets for Vets
Sure.
sponsor superstars would be willing to get on a phone call and tell you all about their experience.
Excellent. Thank you so much.